The monsters inside. Oh, Slitheen! And they're inside a prison! I see what you did there. The Monsters Inside is a well-paced, gluing read with a lot of action, humour and cool concepts. There's a running joke amongst fans that the Ninth Doctor has never visited a planet in the entirety of his tenure as the Doctor, which is true if you're just counting the main series as sole canon, but this is the first Ninth Doctor story to ever take place on an alien planet, and boy does this book let you know. The last third of this book did trail off a bit, and it wasn't the most interesting part, but considering this novel genuinely got me into watching prison documentaries for the duration of the read, I feel it captures your imagination and attention pretty well. In order to fully appreciate this book, you should probably go ahead and watch Aliens of London and World War III, but this isn't essential, although anyone reading extended Doctor Who media is probably familiar with these episodes anyway. Also, it's a little known fact that this book was actually referenced in Boomtown at the start of the episode when Rose was talking to Mickey. She makes a passing comment about the prison world of Justicia, which is the planet this book is set on. So Stephen Cole is the author of this book, and on the whole I'm a fan of his writing. If you've been following my channel, you know I've just reviewed Longest Day by Cole, and I wasn't best pleased with it if I'm totally honest. You can tell, however, that Cole has really settled into writing for Doctor Who since then, having written a plethora of PDA and EDA books before this one. His writing experience shines through Monsters Inside, which is great to see. On a side note, I never knew Cole was responsible for the Cows in Action books, as well as Astrosaurs. Comment down below if these books are basically your childhood. I mean, what kid wouldn't want to read the Terminators? Just me? Okay, moving on. So the plot starts when the Doctor lands on a planet called Justicia. After seeing a lot of men building pyramids and being whipped into submission, the Doctor and Rose get split up by guards who arrest them for trespassing. Rose gets taken to the human ward and slowly suspects the Slitheen are responsible for hijacking the bodies of guards and governors throughout the prison. The Doctor, however, is taken to the alien ward and forced to work on some scientific equipment for Justicia to sell and make a profit on. He's also put in a cell with Slitheen and starts to investigate their plan. After the Doctor persuades the powers that be to let Rose help him with his work, which was simply a way for them to reunite, Rose attempts to join him, but is intercepted by not the Slitheen, but a rival family called the Blathereen. It turns out that the Blathereen are behind the takeover of Justicia and are attempting to make a gigantic portal which will transport all the planets from the Justicia system across the universe, causing suns to spin out of orbit and the Blathereen to profit from the dead worlds that remain. In a turn of events, the Doctor must team up with the Slitheen to beat their family rivals and save the countless lives and galaxies from destruction. The Monsters Inside doesn't take itself too seriously, which really breaks up the themes that the book presents. Now, this book is targeted at all ages to read, so it never gets too deep into anything ethical or heavy, but the Doctor does start questioning how far you should go when punishing criminals, which I think is a really interesting topic for Doctor Who to explore. Justicia develops new and pioneering strategies for law enforcement, punishment techniques, and mental correction, Flowers explained. All criminals deported here serve a productive purpose. They help Justicia find effective ways of controlling social disorder. The Doctor jumped off the couch. So you're testing your inmates, running experiments on them, like building those pyramids. What was that all about? Flowers hesitated. I believe they're investigating whether spells of hard labour in tough conditions can shock petty offenders into giving up crime. Hard labour? He snorted. Looked more like torture to me. So you were spying? Couldn't miss it. Flowers felt her cheeks flushing. Justicia's findings help make policies that benefit countless human societies across the Empire. Policies you flog to them at a tidy profit. They help create happy and healthy colonies with low crime rates and minimal prison population. Minimal because they're shipping their crims off here dirt cheap. The Doctor's disgust was playing on his face. After all, Justicia needs all the guinea pigs it can get, right? I have no idea, said Flowers stiffly. I've already told you the Scat House is concerned only with scientific research. I'm neither consulted nor informed. Oh, well, that's you off the hook then. The Doctor stepped stiffly forwards. I wish this book went to greater lengths to explore this, as it's a great topic that I want to hear more of the Doctor's opinion about, especially as the Doctor seems to have no qualms about divvying out justice himself. This would have made for a great character analysis of the Doctor, but I can only put this down to a missed opportunity on the writer's part, as the book happily dances around this topic, not giving it much closure. Maybe I'm overthinking this point, but still. Now, this wouldn't be a proper Doctor Who story set in a prison if there wasn't a riot at some stage, and boy does this book deliver. The monsters inside foreshadows the massive riot at the end of the book by Rose causing a massive food fight in the eating area, which was such a fun scene to read. This food fight is a small example of the unrest and divide between inmates in the prison, which not only serves as a great foreshadow for the big riot at the end, but encourages the reader to feel a sense of satisfaction when the prisoners all come together to defeat the Blathereen with brute force. Rose shut her eyes, waiting for the inevitable, but then another sound carried from the forest, a cheering and clattering and crashing and shrieking. She opened her eyes again to see hundreds of Borstal kids come piling out of the forest, waving sticks and fists, yelling in fear and anger and liberation. A huge, terrifying lynch mob out for blood. Blathereen blood. "Get them!" bellowed Maggie. "Stop the monsters, it's the only way we'll get home." "Her again," muttered Robson. "I never knew she had it in her," said Rose, whilst Denell just stared. The mob wasted no time getting stuck in, and the Blathereen blocking the way of the forest were soon overwhelmed through sheer force of numbers. Rose could see other Blathereens swapping glances, wondering whether to finish their hunt and stay on and fight, or to stuff this for a game of soldiers and go get some new orders. For now, they decided to stuff it and retreated backwards towards the burning building. There was no hope now for the Blathereen who'd been ambushed. Rose's stomach turned as the violence escalated. "Friends of yours?" said the Doctor faintly. I just want to highlight that the Ninth Doctor is written perfectly in this book, and it feels like every line the Doctor says I can just hear Christopher Eccleston's voice creeping off the page. The Doctor is dark, brutal, and mischievous. We even get the odd fantastic thrown in for good measure. Rose was written well, but she felt like she was a bit too into her stride with the whole time and space thing for this point in her character. It's almost like we got Series 2 Rose in a Series 1 story, which felt jarring as I personally find Series 1 Rose a lot more identifiable and relatable as a character. That being said, I did enjoy her scenes. Okay, so the Blathereen. Yeah, they were basically exactly the same as the Slitheen in Aliens of London, but just on a larger scale. Even their evil plan was pretty much the same as the Slitheen's was. Again, just on a larger scale. They aren't quite the same as the Blathereen we see in Sarah Jane Adventures. For a start, they're grey. I guess if you want to fix this into canon, you could reason this book is set way in the future, and the family have probably evolved from their orange ancestral roots. Realistically, however creepy and atmospheric their maggot skin looks in my head when reading, I can see why this wouldn't translate well to screen. I appreciate the nod to extended Doctor Who media though, Sarah Jane Adventures. Well done from me. So to summarise, this book is an easy read that you can pick up and just have fun with. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but maintains the balance of having a well-structured plot with relatively satisfying conclusion. The third part of the book can feel a little dragged out in places, which has definitely dropped my rating, but overall I'm going to give this book an 8 out of 10, a must-read for any Doctor Who fan. Okay, so that concludes today's book review. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did like this video, please comment down below. Also, comment your thoughts on this book if you've read it. I do like to get a discussion going in the comments, so please comment down below and like the video if you did enjoy it. I've obviously got a lot more content coming up. I've got some exciting series that I'm planning. So yeah, please subscribe if you are sort of into this sort of style of video. Yeah, I hope you all have a fantastic day. Thank you very much.